following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
Welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host for another day here in the markets, of which we're running out of days this week because we're going to be one day short. The markets will be closed on Friday, so just get ready for a shortened week. I've got to start working on my newsletter one day early this week, so I'll start on it tonight. Pretty quiet on the technical field. There's a few things coming out. We'll talk about them today. Mostly in the markets, reduced volatility. We're off about 8 points on the S&P cash. Volume, again, is way, way light. And I get in discussions normally in the summer on this issue, but markets tend to take wild swings after three-day weekends. And, of course, that's what we're going to have this weekend. So I'm kind of very interested in how the market reacts when we come back Monday. But to this point, we are having a very extremely light volume ride up in this market. And, 7, 8 points back, not that big a deal. I suspect that the reality of what we're going to talk about today is going to set in maybe over the weekend, and we're going to see probably one other new factor coming in. Of course, today is the last day of the quarter, but I suspect that we're probably looking at least 6 months of lower prices. I don't know how much lower, but lower prices overall in the indexes. That's going to be based on the dollar index continuing to stay high, and basically what we're going to talk about today, which is the Fed raising rates in June. And I think that's kind of a fait accompli as of today on some Fed remarks, which we'll get into in just a minute. But light volume today. Could we see a little bit of deterioration going into the weekend? I think so. And then what will we see? I suspect the next shoe to drop here is a little bit of selling to start paying taxes for April 15th. And I think we'll probably see the incredibly light volume we had over the bounce on Monday was that they were running this thing up for window dressing at the end of the quarter. And a lot of that cash wasn't normal, that normally would come into the market is not. And that is pretty big runs in the market last year. Some people bought and sold. They'll be having to pay those taxes, and this is about the right time frame for them to go ahead and sell stocks, get some cash back, and write a nice little green check to the government for those ill-gotten gains, if I can say it correctly. Ill-gotten gains. I guess I can say it correctly. In the meantime, the market's kind of digesting a lot of different things geopolitically, U.S. politics, and, of course, a lot of factors that are probably unintended consequences of both of those. And we'll get touch briefly on a couple of them. I think at least in the United States, we're distracted from the real issues going on, and they aren't the pitting ones that the U.S. Media today is willing to pay attention to. It's the ones, for the most part, that they're unwilling to pay attention to because they're kind of a buzzkill. And we'll be talking about those today, too. But starting off with this day, light volume, 1.7 billion shares, and off 8 points as we start the remainder of this show.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
And that is the histoire for today. And today in 1951, a division of Remington Rand turns over the UNIVAC computer to the U.S. Census Bureau. It's the first major commercial sale of a stored program computer. And one of the jobs my dad had in the Air Force was working in a thing called a blockhouse. And that was one of these computers that I think was built about 1956, and they were still playing with it in 1970 before he went back to Vietnam. But I got to go in this thing, and it was built, I think, in about 1956. But it was one of the, it was a giant concrete building, and they called it the blockhouse because it looked like a giant block. Nothing but 4 feet of concrete on every side. Inside of it was a one of these big UNIVAC computers. May have been a later model. I think I saw it when I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, so hard to remember what. But all I remember is all the airmen on roller skates, basically roller skating up and down, replacing tubes in the computer. They'd put on the roller skates. Boy, I can't even, I must have had a stroke today. Roller skates and roll up and down and replacing tubes. I guess it was tube replacement day, but they'd find the ones that were broken or had failed and do it. But kind of a big building, and it could, basically this computer was purpose built to run missiles all up and down the Midwest from, pretty much ran from mid Kansas all the way to southern Missouri. A lot of these places. In fact, I went down one of the missile silos one day. But a lot of this was powered by these original UNIVAC computers. And surprisingly enough, the people liked them. The military liked them because, of course, EMPs wouldn't take out tubes. So basically, probably into the late 70s, early 80s, the military was a big fan of tubes because they could be replaced easily, and because they didn't blow up on EMP shocks if anybody came close. Of course, once missiles got accurate enough that they could hit basically within a football field of something, most of these things were pretty much left to be relics. And a big computer company later moved into that blockhouse, because I went and applied when I was probably about 22 or 23. Went back in there and told everybody about how I'd been in there 12 years earlier when I was 10 years old. But I do digress. Boy, and this is a big digression today. But since then, computers have been a big business, and I think they're going to be an even bigger business and in the near future. I think a lot of people have figured out that mobile is where it's at. For me, mobile is nice. It is a much bigger issue to have something I can create something with. And I'm not going to probably have 3 or 4 monitors on anything that's portable anytime soon. And I've got, 3 27-inch monitors and a 24-inch monitor here in front of me. Plus on a desk, I've got 3 more computers with monitors. So I don't think that's going to be put in anybody's even smaller phablet anytime soon. But I do digress. Of course, under the bus, Ben Bernanke, basically he's turned into a blogger today, or yesterday actually, and came out with his first blog post saying that he was not throwing seniors under the bus by keeping rates too low for too long. And of course, that's exactly what he was doing, throwing seniors with any kind of retirement money under the bus. And the sad little secret is the government can't create anything. As much as some people would like to believe, the government basically keeps people from doing things. At least I'm a libertarian, and that's the way I believe. But they can basically do one thing, and that's decide who is going to be the winner and who's going to be the loser. That's normally the taxpayer. The winner is someone who will give them a bunch of cash. In this case, Bernanke's job was to give a ton of cash to the banks to keep them running, and that screwed over seniors with any kind of retirement savings and a bank account who now get 0 or nothing. And I don't know. Maybe he's just maybe I just live in Realville, or a place where that is real, and I think you need to know. I guess if you repeat something long enough, maybe you start to believe it. But I don't know how you can believe anything other than he threw seniors under the bus to make sure that the government as a whole was better, and the banking system was better as a whole. But that's it. You don't. It's not like you get to have a magic bullet and wave a wand. If you do something, normally it will be to the betterment of one person and to the detriment of another. And all you can hope to do is make the least bad decision possible. Pleasantville. Anyway, we were talking about rate hikes, and Lacker basically came out today and said he was going to rain on my parade. And everybody else is basically saying that any weakness that we saw is caused by bad weather, and it would come back big and strong, and therefore we're going to remain and raise rates in the June meeting. In fact, the quote is, "I expect that unless incoming economic reports diverge substantially," and what he means by that is crater from projections, "the case for raising rates will remain strong at the June meeting." And I have two theories. One, that they're going to start raising. Two, they're going to raise a lot more and quicker than anybody thinks. And three, it will be over by the beginning of the year, or probably January of this year, because they want to get all of this out of the way before elections. This goes back to the 1991-2 timeframe where George Bush, the first one, Bush 41, basically had a fairly decent recession caused by the economic Fed decisions. And of course, miraculously, things turned around in 92. They try as best as possible to try to get these out of the way before the election year and let the dust settle where it may. I think I did have a stroke today. And my guess is that we will see nothing in all of 2016, but it will all happen before the end. Whatever they're going to do is going to happen all in 2015. And they know they have to do it before an election cycle. Ben Bernanke was basically thrown out on his head because he didn't do exactly what the president liked. He was fired on 60 Minutes. It was a surprise to him that he wasn't going to be replaced. I think that even the people in the Fed today know that some of them were appointed, but and maybe even the chairman was appointed by the current president, but that will not change things. They will do at least something before the end of this year, knowing that they can't do anything next year. Got to do it. Wouldn't be prudent to not raise rates. We will be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk, charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And like I said, why everybody else is distracted with a lot of stuff that probably isn't going to matter in a week or a day or two. And I can kind of see it by the way the coverage of what's actually happening this week on CNBC really didn't have anything to do with trading. And I figure what really does is pretty much the geopolitical climate in the near future. What we have found out, at least two things on the international Mid-East front. First is the commander of kind of the general of the troops of all of Iran says that there's no negotiating. They're going to kill everybody in Israel, and there's nothing new there. The difference is that he's also saying that he's going to make sure all the Saudis face the same fate of Saddam Hussein. And in the meantime, we're negotiating with these fine young people to let them have a nuclear bomb. To give you an idea, they have about 9,000 first-generation centrifuges at the Natanz fuel enrichment plant. Theoretically, they could produce enough weapons-grade uranium in for a single warhead, which is about 13 pounds in about 1.7 months. In reality, it's a lot harder than most people would think. But the most disturbing thing to come out of the news and the negotiations is that they would allow them to take 90% enriched uranium and recombine it with oxides, and therefore, they'd have to repurpose the material. The downside is it only takes 2 weeks to take uranium oxide and turn it back into a fuel, stick it in a bomb, which takes about 30 minutes, and it would leave them about 2 weeks before anybody would know what was happening. This continues to be the biggest issue, and I know how big a buzzkill it is, but my guess is that the big swings, especially in commodities over the next few months, is going to be the big issue. And it just, the parallels in history are probably not anywhere as good as, well, let me put it this way. If Hitler had a bomb, I think this would be 1938, where everybody tries to look the other way. And the difference is we already know what they're going to do. They've said it. Hitler wrote a book and said exactly what he was going to do. These folks continually, every day, tell everybody what they're going to do, which is kill all the Jews. Now they're going to kill all the Saudis. In fact, I think they could basically just kill everybody and they'd be happy. The downside is, can you have people that are clearly insane have a bomb? And that is probably the single biggest issue in front of us. And I just, for the life of me, can't understand how anybody could have a co-pilot totally insane and know it and still go up in the air. But it happens, doesn't it? And we also know the results. If there was a bigger thing to contact your senator or congressman on, it would probably be that you cannot have clearly insane people having nuclear weapons at any cost. In the First World War, I think there were, 15 million dead, 70 million dead in the Second World War. My guess is we're talking 1 billion people in the Third World War by the time it's over. The Baltic Dry Index is something else that's going on out here. It's had some very small bounces, and I had some people email me about it. They're just, right now, all I'm going to say is a dead cat bounce. And if we threw a dead cat off 10 floors, yeah, can it bounce one floor? It could. So far, the Baltic Dry Index has bounced maybe half a floor. But we've seen absolutely no real big changes in these, at least the ones I've been tracking, the dry shippers. Nothing that looks to me like anything has happened. My guess is if we are going to see the kind of huge move in China and the stimulus, the first thing is going to be these commodities. And so far right now, I watch this on a daily basis. I've seen pretty much nothing. And that tells me that maybe what China is talking about and what they're doing are two different things. Anyway, the Baltic Dry Index is 23 shipping routes measured on a time charter basis. The index covers basically all the big ships and dry bulk carriers carrying a range of commodity, including coal, iron ore, and grain. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back with El Diablo and Vixen the trading dogs. Unfortunately, I picked up one of them because El Diablo was scared during the break, and I picked up one. And of course, you can't pick up one without picking the other. But if you want to talk about the brain trust here in the White House trading bunker, it certainly has to do with these two fine young animals, both Vixen and El Diablo. I'm going to put them down now. Hopefully they don't jump back up and are now probably thinking that everything is okay. Down. Out. Both of you. Anyway, can't pick up one without picking up the other. Talk about jealousy. Anyway, what else do we have going on out here? Microsoft is releasing a less expensive version of their Surface tablet. It will be sold for $500. Couldn't really find out since it happened just about an hour ago. I don't it includes a pen. I don't think it includes the optional keyboard, which is going to be about $125. This one will be slightly smaller than the Surface 3 that sells for up to $2,000. The kind of decent one that I like is about probably about $1,100-$1,200. If I ever really started traveling a lot, probably the Surface would be the one that I would love, the expensive one. This one is kind of more like the one that I actually have now, which is an atom-powered one. I need a laptop or a portable one so rarely that I don't really bother with it. In fact, all my computers are rather big and have lots of monitors and massive amounts of RAM. Most of the stuff I do doesn't end up being just reading emails. It ends up being a lot of other things, programming. And anyway, this is going to be a very, very nice, what they call a combo, both a tablet and a laptop with the optional keyboard on it. I got Windows 10 last night, the latest version with the new browser, which they have code-named Spartan. I installed it last night, and it took quite a while. So I went to bed, and when I got up this morning, it was there. In fact, what a nice morning it was. I went out and started walking the dogs about 6:20, and the International Space Station went over. I don't know if many people get up or spend a lot of time outside, maybe the hour before the sun comes up and the hour that it comes down. But about every 2 weeks, you're going to see the International Space Station come over your house, and if the weather's clear, you're going to see the thing for about 5 or 6 minutes, an hour before and maybe an hour after the sun goes down. That way you have the sun on either one side or the other shining on it, and it'll move across the sky in about 6 minutes. It's the most brilliant thing besides the moon at night, but that's how I started off my day this morning. Anyway, to get back to my story here, it will come with 1 year of Office 365. They're basically going to start giving away computers or subsidizing computers to sell Office and other applications over time on a subscription basis. That subscription basis will be fairly inexpensive and be on a yearly basis, not kind of like on the monthly basis we see with Adobe and some of the other folks. Doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. Of course, if you have a Windows 7 or later device, you will be able to run Windows 10. You'll be able to get it for the first year for free. After that, it looks like it will be about $40 a year, and they will be constantly updating it. As I said, I got the latest version of Windows 10 last night, and I have to say that there has been a dramatic change in the way Microsoft deals with both its developers and its end users, and I think that is going to be huge in the release of 10, and that I don't have a lot of people basically with a lot of gripes. Everybody's made them already. They've made the best arguments for them, and you've been able to get versions of Windows 10 since back in the fall when I got them. And I think they have been generally available to even people that have a mild interest since right before Christmas. But now you can get all the latest builds and try them on your PCs. And I've got 3 that I tried installing them on. And I only have one problem, and I'm reporting that now. Not to you guys, but to them, with an audio device. But other than that, everything works fairly instantly. And I really like the way Cortana works with it. I think they're doing everything right. I think the market's pulling back. I don't think Intel or Microsoft are going to be the worst hit in any pullback in this market. And they continue to do all the right things. May not mean that their stock goes up, but I have a feeling it's not going to be hit as bad as a lot of others that continue to have problems. Yeah. Satellite net. Somebody in the den knows what a magnitude 2.1 means. Not too many. Oh, what are my dog breeds? One is a Schnauzer Maltese mix. That was Vixen. And the other one is a Chihuahua dog with some kind of water dog fur. So I don't know. Anyway, very interesting stuff going on with Microsoft and the rest. We're going to get into what's moving now in this market, in a quiet market. As we continue, we are off almost 10 points on the S&P cash. Volume still very light. We should be pushing about probably 2.3 billion shares, pushing 1.9 billion shares. What else do we have? Oh, we can look at some of these others. I wanted to see how they were reacting today. Analog devices, of course, a big pop. A lot of people thinking there's a lot going on there. A little bit of a reversal already today, but on lighter volume. Again, what you want to watch is any of these pulling back below their breakout point. In the case of analog devices, it would be the $61.32 high from March 20th. And I'm keeping an eye on that. We've had some other stocks that look like maybe they're already starting to break down. One of the patterns I love the best is a thing called a double repo from Joe DiNapoli. If you look at AMAG Pharmaceuticals, especially stocks that are very parabolic, this works incredibly well. Now, what you would imagine is that you've got 10 to 15 days above either a 3x3 displaced moving average or a 9-day moving average. In fact, let's show this with a 9-day moving average too so everybody can see. Let's just go 9 here and 0 there so you can see. Basically, 3x3 or a 9-day moving average is the same. The only difference is with the 3x3, you get 3 days in the future where you already know the numbers that you like. On a 9-day moving average, you're basically getting a signal already out here on AMAG. This is done. And that is, like I said, 10 to 15 days above a very short moving average like 9 days or a 3x3 displaced moving average. A couple days underneath it, it pops back above it and it closes back below it. And that is one of the best signals for a parabolic stock and a parabolic ETF and a parabolic anything. Basically, that's a very good pattern. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful in it, but it is probably got the highest batting average for these stocks, especially in that. And if we look at the IBB, the question is, what would that one look like? This one has not yet gone back above that. It's actually coming down. You would kind of like for this thing maybe over the next couple of days to bounce back higher a little bit. And pull the trigger there if you wanted to look at the IBB. Light volume today kind of gives you an indication that you could bounce above the 9-day or the 3x3 and see that these finally have given a longer-term sell signal. In fact, on this one, on the 3x3, you kind of got it. All you need is a lower close out here above the 3x3 and you would get it. So it is close. I'd like to see both the 9-day and the 3x3 both give equal signals on the IBB to say, stick a fork in, it's over. What else do we have? Okay. Again, we've got some other ones out here. Anchor Pharmaceuticals. Again, almost all these things have these same patterns out here. And what you're watching for is the next real move below these. Not all of them have given it. But any real kind of weakness in these pharmaceuticals now would really say that we've both had a parabolic move, that parabolic move has made probably one of the only patterns I like for actually shorting them. And it's ready to go. So maybe by Monday or Tuesday next week, maybe we see that kind of move out here. In the meantime, we've got some other stocks that are pushing for lower prices. One of the things I see out here is the January 30th low in ArcBest. That symbol is ARCB with about 400,000 shares on January 30th. You could almost make a case that the January 5th low with 670,000 shares got into it but didn't test it. We did test it with higher volume than that January low just a few days ago and not really getting any kind of bounce out of here. And these tertiary stocks in the market are kind of getting that. In the China business, we've seen C-Trip basically go back up to its high of November 21st of last year. It's done it with higher volume, but has not been able to hold anything higher than that November 21st high, kind of going sideways. My guess is you're going to have one more pierce of that. If you have some very light volume, then this may be setting up to go fill at least part or most of this gap from the huge pop-up of the 20th. So maybe some of these are getting ready to at least pull back for a while. In the meantime, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. And you can also email me at path@tfnn.com, as one of our fine readers has done. And that is Frank. He works in Clearwater, but is from Sun City, Florida. And he asks, what will gold do when interest rates go up? Well, I think in the short term, gold will go lower. My guess is that the move for gold right now, without any kind of geopolitical events going on, is that gold will probably be under pressure through the first, second, and third rate hikes. When they say that they are on hold, what they're really saying is they're on hold for the election season for 2016. What that means to me is that's when the monkey will be off the gold miners and gold bullion's back. And at that point, my guess is we're going to see the markets and inflation rates start to creep up through the election. And that's when probably the next real long leg in gold would be. In fact, that's probably right now where I'm thinking that we're going to get out of these doldrums that gold has been stuck in for a while. And that is finally when gold gets pushed down by hiking interest rates. Everybody thinks it's dead. Everybody thinks it's over. No one wants to hear about gold anymore. And then maybe the 1st of January or February of 2016, everybody knows there are not going to be any more interest rate hikes until after the election that year, that we see probably inflation come back. And that's when gold really makes its big run. Most people that weren't around before 2001 and the huge gold run don't remember how long gold consolidations can be. I think they look at charts and they say, okay, yeah, I see gold consolidated from 1987 to 2001. Basically, it's, this is, in the scheme of things, could be one of the shorter consolidations in gold. And that's it. CNBC amazes me how much time they spend on Warren Buffett. Yes. Of course, everybody worships at the altar of Mr. Buffett. But I do digress. Anyway, C-Trip, you could see there's a gap down here at about 49, and that's where, if this thing came back on light volume, you'd want to pick this up. Barracuda Networks is one that's kind of playing around these highs. Tried to get into its previous high out here. My guess is the next time it gets up there, it will. You need $40.71 to pull the trigger. I don't know if you get that, but certainly this leg, interesting, but not a lot of juice. Got up to these highs, and it looks to me like some of these are probably ready to kind of rotate back down a little bit. CRV Energy is another one of these stocks. Now, this one, very, very light volume, at least today, back up against its high. We want to be watching this the next few days. February 13th, $42.39, basically 380,000 shares. You kind of got into that with 323,000 shares yesterday. You're kind of ticking into it with very light volume today. So that's it. I talked about the Baltic Dry Index earlier. Diana Shipping is one of these stocks that I'm looking at. We'll talk more about it when we come back from the break. In the meantime, you can call me at 877-927-6648. You can email me, like others, at path@tfnn.com, or post a message in the day.
Trade with confidence and clarity while using the software that thousands of institutional traders rely on to make the best and most accurate decisions. Choose from 1,000 equities, currencies, and futures instruments utilizing the TAS architecture. As seen on Bloomberg terminals worldwide, the TAS Profile Scanner is a benchmark technical filtering system that thousands of traders rely on, and now you can too. For a limited time for TFNN subscribers only, we've reduced the price to just $97. That's over 75% off. John Logan hosted a special subscriber-only webinar in December, and you'll gain access to that archive as well, so you can learn exactly what the TAS Profile Scanner can do for you. Try this product out. No matter what you trade, the TAS Profile Scanner can help you make more informed trading decisions. There's no obligation to pay anything. Don't let this offer pass you by. Get your 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner today by signing up at TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Anyway, we're talking about Diana shipping and, of course, the Baltic Dry Index. Hadn't done any good for these folks. It looks like maybe there was some lower rates initially from what I've read in these shipping companies. And the lower rates were, you can still throw some stuff back on my half-empty ship when we come back. And maybe that's been mildly successful in that they're at least not coming back without any freight. They're coming back with some freight. And maybe that's a little bit of this dead cat bounce out of the dry bulk shippers. I guess one stock doesn't represent an entire sector, but I kind of get the idea from looking at the numbers that you get. And there's not kind of an industry that has better optics on it, since you know what the prices that these companies are getting overall. Now, I didn't get into detail with the Baltic Dry Index. These different shipping companies may have different ships. Some of them can go around the Cape of Good Horn. Some of them go through the Panama Canal. I think some of this is going to change, of course, when the new Panama Canal is widened, and some of these ships can go through there. But a great deal of them still have to go around the Cape of Good Horn and the other Cape, which whatever that one is, I can't remember at the moment. But not a lot of changes out here. And I'm wondering, I think we're less than a year away from the Panama Canal's new wider opening, physically opening. But I'll check on that after the show. I haven't written that down. Anyway, what else do we have going on out here? A few others wanted to look at GG. We've been talking about this for a while, and Goldcorp's got basically two lows out here. You had a good test of the low in Goldcorp for the huge run, which is the December 16th low at $17.06 with 11 million shares. Got into it with 4 million shares on December 24th, and that thing took off. It's come back. Energy is a little lower. But to me, what it looks like is we've got at least some level of consolidation, and we're probably so close to those low $17 lows. I would love to see this thing test them with a very light volume against that December 16th low yet again. But doesn't look to me like there's that much, at least in the charts out here. You got 3 dojis in a row out here. You do not have to test that low because you've already tested it for all practical purposes. But it would be nice. I wouldn't probably place a trade without getting that $17.06 low tested out here. Of stocks looking like they're ready to break down, Hewlett-Packard, especially in the face of them splitting in two in the coming year, looks rather dim. You did have this thing kind of go through a high volume low, which was the March 12th low at 31.51. Went through it on March 27th with 19 million shares. But we're kind of in here with a little doji that probably sets up a halfway point or a low here. So we're going to be watching Hewlett-Packard in the next week or so to see what we have. Kind of rare to see one of these stocks come out here and in a bigger, greater pattern out here. What you don't like is all the energy on the way down. And of course, the energy came in on that February 25th down day with 63 million shares. So that is it. I see Tom O'Brien warming up in the bullpen once again today, and we'll be listening to him in the next couple hours. Of course, I'll be listening on TFNN.mobi in the dog park with the 2 famous trading dogs. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.